You know, if you think about the movies and television shows, The Walking Dead, all the zombie movies, the article that I showed you in the community channel, how they want to reanimate decapitated bodies and people that have been dead, see if they can bring them back to life. When you think about the son of perdition, how it says, the word backs itself up. 2 Thessalonians talks about the son of perdition showing up first. Revelation says that someone kills the son of perdition. It says, and I saw one of his heads to be wounded to death. His body will lay in the street for 3 days. And then his father of the son of perdition, which is Satan, will inhabit his body. And he will raise up off the ground from being dead 3 days. And that's the last and final straw for those who did not go, who were left here. Now they will believe that he is the risen, because they're going to hear the story of Christ. They know the story of Christ rose on the third day. And this is the trickery or the witchcraft that's going to happen and finally reign in the last little bit of those who are not given robes, who are left here, who were pure atheists, non-believers, but freedom fighters. And when they see that, it's going to draw them in closer. It's going to be the final nail in the coffin as far as their belief system and them taking the ultimate step and allowing Satan to fool them. Now, I'm still on this idea that our bodies will hit the floor. Because in 2 Corinthians, it does tell us that we go back to spirit. This flesh and bone will not go back. And I truly believe that when these bodies hit the ground, why would we want to take them? Why would you be worried about whether or not this body would go? They're sick, they're decayed, they're corrupt, full of diabetes, arthritis, high blood pressure, inflammation. They're not going there. So, as we seen the little orb flying around my head a couple days ago, that's a spirit being of light. That's what we are. I believe that's what we go back to. We go back because we came. Jeremiah 1:5 says we knew him. He knew us before he formed us in this clay. This clay ain't gone. So we had a relationship with the Most High. The Most High Yah. We had a relationship with him before he put us in this clay. So we're going to go back to him before we hit this clay. And they're going to use these bodies and try to reanimate them. And it's not going to work out that great. And there's going to be a bunch of zombies walking around. We already know scripturally that that's what's going to happen in the book anyway. But where do they come from? I believe that they're going to come from those fallen spirits that, especially when you talk about those who have already been popped, and those of us who have not. When these bodies hit the ground and we're snatched out of here as pure light beings, spirit beings, they're going to try and jump in some of these bodies. But see, they can't do it and these bodies won't hold up. And so it will be a straight zombie flick movie. They're going to blame it on UFOs, killed them, reanimated them. This is the reason why you need to take the final shot so we can save you from that, knowing that that final shot is the one that's really going to just reanimate everybody and make it so evil and heinous that it's going to look like a B-movie, 2B horror flick. That's what's coming. The video I just put up talks about 180 days before April, which would be September. So, and I'm not telling you when it should be. I'm not telling you it's going to happen then. I'm just looking at some scripture just to see. I mean, because if you think about everything that's going on, how they keep talking about the worst of the worst is here. We got monkey bumps. When we got a new pestilence that's supposed to be the worst one ever. It's called Ninja. Okay, so if that's all here set ready to go, what would make me think Satan would not know and understand that rapture is coming, harpazo is coming, and he knows that God is coming for his people? Again, I'm going to try to destroy as many of them as I can, so it'll be less of them that he can take. And I'll have them down here with me, because he knows his time is short, and he wants to ruin God's creation as much as possible. But in the book of Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, Satan is not even mentioned as the first enemy of God. The first enemy of God is death, which came through sin. And the sting of death is through the law. Satan is not even mentioned as a real force to be reckoned with. It's death and then the grave. In the book of 2 Corinthians, we found this out in Bible study. Satan's name ain't even mentioned. It's death. Okay? That's the Isaiah 25 verse that talks about, "O death, O grave, where is your sting? It's been swallowed up in victory." Again, Satan's name ain't even mentioned. He's not even a factor. Because he's going to be thrown in the lake of fire with death and the grave. And they're all going to burn for eternity. So, just something to think about. I just wanted to press your mind on that. It's going to be, imagine how tragic that would be for the world to see all these dead bodies everywhere. The scripture does say that in Amos that they're going to be tossing out dead bodies in the street. Okay? Just something to think about. I'll talk to you later. Deuces.